Devil, just hearing the word is enough to send shivers down our spines. It is not something easily defined, but we all recognize it when we see it. In fact, we don't even need to see it. We can feel it. The truth about evil is that it doesn't announce itself openly. It hides in plain sight, concealed behind smiles, false kindness, and cleverly crafted masks. But what's even more terrifying is that evil doesn't just lurk in dark alleys or behind locked doors. It can emerge in the places we trust most: schools, churches, and even in the homes of those we call friends. This silent and insidious presence makes it unpredictable. When you unmask it, when you recognize the darkness hiding beneath the surface, everything begins to change. Evil doesn't retreat, it reacts. It starts revealing its true nature in ways you never anticipated. Trust me, it won't just show itself through words, but also through actions. When evil realizes that you've uncovered its secret, it doesn't confront you with brute force, but with calculated schemes, subtle tricks designed to confuse, intimidate, and control. In this video, we will expose 7 specific behaviors displayed by those with malicious intent when they realize you've discovered the truth. This is not just about identifying the signs, it's about staying calm, standing firm, and using the wisdom and strength that come from God's word. Together, let us confront the darkness, not with fear, but with unwavering faith and courage in Christ. The first sign: they make you feel strange vibrations. These vibrations are not merely fleeting emotions, but a profound instinct, an invisible alarm bell ringing within your soul. We live in a sea of energy, where everything around us, including people, emits unique frequencies. When you encounter someone with malicious intentions, their negative energy doesn't just affect your mind, it permeates the surrounding space, leaving behind an uncomfortable feeling. Have you ever entered a room and felt uneasy for no apparent reason? That's not your imagination. That's the vibration. Toxic people are often masters of subtlety. When they realize you've seen through their facade, their behavior shifts noticeably. Smiles that once seemed genuine now appear forced. Questions suddenly become invasive, making you feel as though they're trying to expose you. Every word and gesture carries an underlying message: I won't let you escape easily. These unsettling vibrations are not just discomforting, they are an intentional strategy, a manipulation to regain control. I've experienced this in the workplace. A colleague I once trusted revealed their true nature: selfish, envious, and cunning. When I recognized this and started keeping my distance, they didn't confront me directly. Instead, they changed tactics, asking unnecessary questions, monitoring my every move, and even spreading rumors to tarnish my reputation. Initially, this caused sleepless nights due to stress, but I realized that the best way to respond was not through retaliation, but by staying calm and steadfast. I learned to ignore their negative vibrations and focus on my work. Strangely enough, when I stopped reacting, their influence gradually faded. The Bible offers an important lesson for moments like these. In Proverbs 4:23 we are reminded, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." The truth is that strange vibrations and negative energy cannot harm you unless you allow them to. When facing manipulative behavior, the most crucial thing is to maintain inner peace. These unsettling vibrations are merely a test of your resilience, an opportunity to demonstrate that your calmness and wisdom are stronger than any ill intent. Have you ever felt like this? Has someone's presence made you uncomfortable for no clear reason? How did you handle it? Share your story in the comments section. By connecting and learning from each other, we can discover ways to protect our inner peace even in life's most challenging situations. The second sign: deception is a path to destruction, where every lie becomes a chain binding the soul to betrayal. Those who choose to live in deceit not only damage others' trust, but also lose their own integrity. Deep down, They know that every lie takes them further from the truth, a self-betrayal of spiritual values for fleeting goals. Deceit not only destroys relationships, but also erodes honor and self-respect. I remember a friend I trusted deeply. He came to me with a story about financial struggles and earnestly asked for help. Trusting our friendship, I did not hesitate to lend him money. But the truth soon came to light. The money wasn't used to solve his problems, but to fund unnecessary luxuries. When I confronted him, he denied everything and spun more lies to cover his actions, even attempting to make me feel guilty for doubting him. His behavior was a clear sign that he disregarded both truth and trust. From that experience, I learned that those who live in deceit often deflect blame and manipulate to protect themselves. However, the light of truth cannot remain hidden forever. The Bible reminds us in Ephesians 4:25, "Therefore each of you must put off falsehood and speak truthfully to your neighbor, for we are all members of one body." When faced with deceit, the most important thing is to maintain peace in your heart and not let lies shake your faith. Remember, the truth always prevails and has the power to break every chain of falsehood. The third sign: they only show up when they need you. Have you ever felt like just a stop on someone's journey? They come to you with sweet words and seemingly sincere gestures, but as soon as they get what they want, they vanish without hesitation. This leaves you questioning whether your kindness is being exploited. Such people don't truly care about you. They care only about what they can gain from the relationship. When they realize you've seen through them, their behavior becomes increasingly calculated and intentional. Initially, they make you believe they are trustworthy companions who will always be there when you need them. But when you genuinely need their help, they are nowhere to be found. These individuals are like opportunists, meticulously planning their steps. Once they've taken all they can, they withdraw, leaving you feeling hurt and betrayed. They have no intention of building lasting relationships, focusing instead on short-term benefits. What's even more disappointing is that when things settle down, they return with insincere apologies and fabricated excuses, hoping you'll believe their absence was due to circumstances beyond their control. They exploit your forgiveness and compassion to continue their cycle of taking advantage. I once had a colleague whom I initially thought was a reliable ally. He was always enthusiastic about helping with projects, willing to work extra hours, and offering valuable advice. But one day, when I faced a major crisis at work, he was completely silent, offering no support or concern. After I resolved the issue on my own, he reappeared with excuses, saying he was too busy or didn't want to add more stress to my plate. That's when I realized he wasn't a true ally. He was only around when it benefited him. The Bible reminds us in Proverbs 27:6, "Wounds from a friend can be trusted, but an enemy multiplies kisses." The key is to keep your faith in God and not let yourself be unsettled by those who are unworthy. Those who truly love you will never take advantage of your kindness. They will stand by you even in your most challenging times. And what about you? Have you ever experienced something similar? Share your story with us. Together, we can learn how to protect our hearts and build meaningful and sincere relationships. The fourth sign: sadness. People who are calm and composed know how to step back, observe situations from an outsider's perspective, and remind themselves that true worth does not come from others' judgments, but from inner peace and self-respect. I recall a personal story, a valuable lesson in my life. During a journey abroad, I met a new friend. At first, he seemed very caring and always ready to help. But whenever I shared my ideas or decisions, he would often make remarks that made me feel belittled. Comments like, "Why didn't you think bigger?" or "That's too simple," repeatedly came up, leading me to doubt my own abilities. Over time, I realized he wasn't truly a friend. He didn't care about helping me grow, but wanted to control how I perceived myself. The Bible teaches us in Romans 12:2, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. This reminded me that no one has the right to dim the inner value that God has placed within me. Instead of letting his criticism hurt me, I learned to keep my mind peaceful and not let emotions overwhelm me. I realized that my response was the only thing I could control. When I stopped seeking his approval, I felt freer and stronger. Remember, your value doesn't lie in what others say about you, but in how you face challenges and continue trusting God's plan for you. Negative people can only make you feel small if you allow them to. Stay strong within, focus on what you can control, and let God guide you through every situation. True peace comes from faith in him and confidence in yourself. Continue this journey with hope and determination, because you were born to overcome every challenge and live with your true worth. The fifth sign: they emerge with a new reputation. Have you ever looked at someone and thought they embody deceit and cruelty? If your answer is yes, you are not alone. Evil in people isn't always exposed through their actions or words. On the contrary, it often hides behind a facade of fake kindness, making you believe they are completely normal. The most terrifying thing is not their ability to conceal their true nature, but the way they manipulate your perception, making you doubt yourself and the truths you've uncovered. Such individuals are not just evil, they are masters of disguise, skilled in playing psychological games that you may not even realize you are drawn into. When they know you've seen through them, they never confront the truth. Instead, they craft an entirely new story to change how you perceive them. It's not genuine apologies, but complex narratives filled with fake emotions designed to make you believe you misunderstood them. Imagine having a colleague known for dishonesty. One day, you decide to confront them. Instead of admitting their wrongdoing, they share a touching story about a troubled past and how they've turned their life around. The story is so convincing that you start questioning if you've been too harsh. But that's precisely their strategy, sowing confusion to make you doubt your own judgment. I once experienced this situation. Someone I trusted completely turned out to be deceitful and manipulative. When the truth came to light, instead of admitting their mistakes, they created another story to alter how I perceived them. For a long time, I was trapped in a cycle of self-doubt, questioning whether I had overreacted. But eventually, I realized that all those explanations and elaborate stories were merely a smokescreen to obscure the truth. The Bible teaches us, "A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, and a bad tree cannot bear good fruit." Luke 6:43. Evil individuals are well aware of how to influence your mind. If they can control your thoughts, they can manipulate your perception and actions. However, God reminds us to keep our minds clear and not be deceived by falsehoods. When someone tries to rebuild their reputation after being exposed, be cautious. Don't be easily swayed by cleverly crafted stories. Instead, place your trust in the truth. Evil doesn't just change its appearance, it leaves behind a sense of unease, a discomfort that you cannot easily explain. When you feel this, trust your instincts. Listen to the signals your heart sends you, for they may be warnings from God. Don't let false words or actions cloud your judgment. Always stay vigilant, ask questions, and protect the truth in your heart, for the truth will always set you free. The sixth sign: playing the victim. These individuals often try to deceive you into believing that they are completely unaware of the harm they've caused, pushing you into a state of confusion and self-doubt. This behavior isn't merely about avoiding responsibility, it is a dangerous form of psychological manipulation. They turn their mistakes into opportunities to shift the blame onto you, making you feel as though you are the one at fault. For example, you express your pain in hopes of receiving an apology, but instead they respond with a sarcastic question like, "Why didn't you tell me sooner?" This not only invalidates your feelings, but also makes you feel guilty, as if the entire situation is your fault. I've experienced this while living far from home. A friend I trusted took advantage of my kindness, When I finally discovered the truth and confronted them, they pretended to be completely unaware, saying, "Oh, I didn't know you felt that way. Why didn't you say something sooner?" Their tone, a mix of naivety and deflection, made me question whether I was being overly sensitive. But upon reflection, I realized this was just their way of manipulating me to avoid accountability. They didn't care about my feelings. Their only goal was to protect their image by distorting the truth. The Bible reminds us in Galatians 6:7, "Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows." Such people may attempt to evade the consequences of their actions, but they cannot escape the truth forever. What's important is how we respond to such behavior. Epictetus wisely said, "We are not disturbed by events, but by the views we take of them." Don't let them define your emotions or experiences. Hold firmly to the truth and your sense of self-worth. Manipulative individuals always seek to cast themselves as victims to confuse and disorient you, but you have the right to reject their deceit. Always remain steadfast, listen to your true feelings, and don't let anyone erode your confidence. Truth and self-respect will always be the guiding principles that help you overcome such people. The seventh sign: they try to manipulate you. Manipulation can be likened to a silent storm, unseen yet immensely destructive. It sneaks into your life, undermining your confidence and stripping away the control you have over your own decisions. Manipulators do not always present themselves as hostile or overtly controlling. Instead, they often mask their intentions with an air of kindness, concern, or even love. However, appearances can be deceiving. These individuals utilize subtle and calculated tactics to control your emotions, creating an environment where you feel isolated, question your own judgment, and ultimately become dependent on them. Picture someone close to you who always seems attentive, compassionate, and supportive in every circumstance. They ask how you are, offer advice, and reassure you that they only want what's best for you. At face value, their actions may seem genuine, but underneath lies a darker intention. Their guidance often comes with an undertone of doubt, aimed not at empowering you, but at eroding your confidence. One woman once shared how her mother would always plant seeds of fear in her decisions. Whenever she wanted to start a new relationship, her mother would ask, "Are you sure they won't hurt you? Think about all the mistakes you've made before." These words, though seemingly caring, paralyzed her, making her doubt herself and ultimately leading her to abandon opportunities for happiness and growth. Manipulators are skilled at emotional intelligence and use it to their advantage. They are adept at identifying your vulnerabilities and turning them into weapons of control. Through their calculated behavior, they make you feel small, powerless, and incapable. Often, they mask their manipulative actions as acts of kindness, subtly convincing you that they are your only reliable support system. But behind the facade, they are gradually taking over your life, step by meticulous step, making you dependent on their approval and guidance. The Bible offers wisdom and clarity for situations like this. In John 8:32, Jesus tells us, "You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." Allowing someone to manipulate you is surrendering the freedom God has given you. Manipulation traps you in the hands of someone else, turning you into a puppet. Yet, God calls us to live in His truth and freedom. True happiness and fulfillment are not found in the approval of others, but in mastering our thoughts, emotions, and faith in God. One of the most common tactics used by manipulators is creating a sense of helplessness. They make you believe that without them, your life will spiral into chaos. They whisper lies that convince you that you are incapable of making sound decisions or handling challenges on your own. But these are lies designed to erode your trust in yourself and ultimately in God's guidance for your life. Breaking free from manipulation begins with establishing clear boundaries and defending them unwaveringly. Learn to say no and stand firm in your decisions. When you create boundaries, do not allow others to push or cross them. This act of self-preservation is not just about protecting yourself. It is about reclaiming the freedom that God intended for you. Ephesians 6:11 reminds us, "Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes." This scripture teaches us that true strength comes from being grounded in God's truth and protecting ourselves from deceit and manipulation. It is crucial to remember that manipulation only works when you allow it to. A determined, self-controlled mind is a fortress that psychological games cannot penetrate. This is your moment to rise up, take back control of your life, and refuse to play their games. Pain and suffering may test you, but they also refine and strengthen you. By standing firm against manipulation, you protect your inner peace and simultaneously reinforce your self-esteem and trust in God. When you refuse to let manipulators dictate your emotions or actions, you begin to experience the true freedom God promises. Your confidence grows, and your reliance on God deepens. Remember, God equips you with the strength to face such challenges. His truth is a shield that protects you from lies and deception, allowing you to discern manipulation and resist it courageously. As you navigate through life, let these lessons serve as part of your spiritual armor. Equip yourself with clarity, wisdom, and faith so you can confront manipulation and other trials with courage and grace. Reflect on your own experiences. Have you ever encountered someone who tried to manipulate you? How did you overcome their influence? Your story could become a source of hope and encouragement for others who are struggling to recognize and resist manipulation in their lives. Together, we can learn, share, and inspire each other to trust in God's guidance and stand firm against manipulative tactics. Let us encourage one another to embrace the freedom and truth that God offers us. By sharing these lessons and living by them, we can collectively create an environment where love, honesty, and mutual respect flourish. One where inner peace is no longer a distant aspiration but a tangible reality.